Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I just wanted to say you guys finally win. I am going to go through all the classic dungeons and I'm going to give you a guide for them. A lot of you have been asking. I'm going to try and do every single dungeon. I can tell you right now, I probably won't do Maraudon Purple Side or Maraudon Orange because being on Doomhow, it's a little hard to trust pugs in some of those dungeons. So we did Wailing Caverns last night. I actually streamed this. My Twitch link is right above. Again, we're going to go through all of these dungeon guides. A lot of you have been asking. I've been putting it off, but here we are. Let's go ahead and start with Wailing Caverns. Now, the very first part of this dungeon is very simple. That's why I kind of skipped ahead already to the other side of the little ravine here, right when you walk into the dungeon. My comp is looking okay. You're going to notice a lot through this dungeon that the DPS is not very good. So, that's something to keep in mind as well. We have I believe a 21 mage. We have Nat, who is a guild healer. I brought a guild healer because I wanted to show you guys some certain things in the dungeons that could get you killed. So I did a couple like goofy pulls in here just because I trust my healer, but I also want to show you guys things that could go wrong. We have a 21 warlock, I believe, and a 21 hunter. The hunter is crucial in this dungeon, and you're going to see why here in a second, and I'm going to show you. So obviously here, your biggest warning or your biggest threat to you in this first part of the dungeon is these blue raptors called Deviate Guardians. Now, why are they a problem? Because they call for help, and the range that they call for help is far. And I'm going to show you a perfect example of how far exactly it can be in a second here, but I just want to show you an example. So about if I had this raptor right here and it called for help, if you can see my mouse right here, I promise you this side of the dungeon will pull. It is very, very far. So your first thing as a tank is separating guardians or pulling them way back. So as you can see, I pulled it way back here and we will not have to worry about the call for help. Now, I am going to scoot a little bit ahead and I'm going to show you the other warning that comes with this dungeon. Let me see if I can find the exact spot. It's a little hard on this media player. Anyways, we'll let this play out. So this boss is just like the other mobs in here, the Druid of the Fang. Now I want you to watch. She has a sleep ability. This is what you need to know about the sleep ability. The sleep ability will always go on the nearest target that doesn't have aggro on her. So if you have a DPS that is blasting, it's world buffed or whatever, and they pull threat, and you are the nearest target that is not her target, she will sleep you. Now, this is important when it comes to having a hunter, because she will always, like I said, she will always sleep, or any Druid of the Fang in here, any Night Elf mob will sleep the target that's closest to them that they are not tanking. So as you can see, look what it's targeting, the wolf. So that is why having a hunter or potentially a warlock in here, as you can see, the imp is right there, is important. Now, this is why when you have shaman healers, you need to tell them to stay back, because a lot of shaman healers like to get extra DPS with that flame tongue, or they drop Searing Totem. They want to get a little bit of DPS, help the group out. That's fine in other dungeons, but this one, it can be a little crucial. Let's say you pull 3 mobs here, shaman gets slept. What if you have a potion on cooldown? You might die, right? So as you can see, watch this. She sleeps the wolf, and I'm going to let this play out because I'm going to show you how bad this DPS is. But anyways, we're going to play it out, and I think she sleeps again in this fight. Okay, perfect. Look, wolf is already slept. She's sleeping again. Look who she's sleeping. The very next closest target that is not me. I am highest on threat. It's the imp. She's just going to, all of these Night Elf mobs are going to sleep the nearest target that doesn't have threat on them. So look, she sleeps the imp. The imp over here in the corner has slept, and we eventually kill the boss. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Your main dangers in here are the call for help from the guardians, and then the Druid of the Fang mobs, which also include the bosses. They will sleep the nearest target that doesn't have threat on them. So if you have a shaman healer trying to help on DPS and they get slept, you might be in trouble. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I want to show you how far this call for help is, because look at that. Okay, right here. So I knew that this guardian was going to pull mobs. I knew it was going to pull all 4. Look how far this call for help is. Look how far. And trust me, this doesn't even do it justice, because these guys could be like 10 feet back and they'll still come. Watch. Call for help right about now. All four raptors are coming. Look at that. That's how far the call for help is. If you look where I'm circling here on my mouse, if you have guardians here, which you will, which why you got to pull them back into that cave. If you have guardians here, they will pull the mobs on the other side of the ravine here. They will. I've seen it. I've done it. We've had to run out. So as you can see, the call for help is no joke here. If I didn't have a guild healer and at least one guild DPS here, we probably die, right? So that's the only reason I did this, was to show you guys how dangerous these guardians can potentially be. So obviously we end up killing it and we move on. So now going here is we're not really doing much. So the nice thing about Wailing Caverns is that there is tons and tons of LOS spots. These Druid of the Fangs, they all cast Lightning Bolt. They have, and when they go in Viper form, they have spits. All of these little pillars, I guess if you want to call them, they're all workable for LOS. They all work. So that is one thing that is nice about Wailing Caverns, is you can definitely practice your LOS pulls. So this is LOS, this is LOS, this is LOS, this is LOS. Everything in here is LOS. As you can see, I used that over there to grab them, and now they're all formed up on me. Let's go down more. Again, LOS, I LOS this so that they come straight to me. They V-line it, and that's pretty much it. Now we're skipped ahead quite a bit here. I'm just going to keep going. Now, the one thing I want to show you, so we just killed Crash. We're on the other side. We killed Cobran. Most people should know where we are right about now. The next thing you need to worry about here is these Shamblers. They do a rejuvenation. They will put it on anybody. And all the Druid of the Fangs that I forgot to tell you, these guys have a very interesting toolkit. Not only do they sleep, they turn into Viper form and spit when they get low level. They run and they heal. They have a massive toolkit. Coming in here, you will always have one Shambler padding. So if you just decide to charge in here, I guarantee you're pulling this Shambler. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to grab this Pat too. He's going to walk right into you. So if you want to wait for him, you can. Otherwise, you can just grab them all and finish the job. Now, I pulled them all simply because, again, I have a guild healer in here. I have a guild DPS. I know we can do it. If you are a tank with not very good gear, and by the way, I'm only level 19 in this. So I'm right at the borderline of, okay, this is safe, but maybe not safe. But if I didn't have a guild healer and a guild DPS in here, I wouldn't do this. So again, we pull them all, keep going here. Another great LOS spot. This is literally the same exact room. We're just going up maybe like 20 feet. You can LOS here. Again, Wailing Caverns is great. There is tons and tons and tons of LOS spots. Now, the only other things you really need to worry about when it comes to patrols is there's quite a few Druid of the Fang patrols, but there's also a lot of the ectoplasms, the goo guys. Now, those are important because if you don't kill them first, they'll clone. And the clone is actually another elite. It's not a non-elite. It's an elite. So you got to kill the clone guys first, because if you don't, they're just going to keep cloning ads. They're just going to keep cloning elites and elites and elites and elites. So always try to focus them first. And they're kind of hard to see because they kind of blend in with like the bushes and stuff. So as you can see, there's one right there. You don't really pay attention to it, right? He's kind of just walking around. It's a perfect example. Now, Pythus, nothing crazy. He's just like all the other Druid of the Fangs. He will sleep, heal, lightning bolt, all of those goodies. As you can see, we continue to use these LOS spots. LOS, LOS, LOS. Now, Scum, he's probably the easiest boss in here. He literally just does a chain lightning. Just face him away, and eventually he'll run away. Now, I will say, let me back up just a little bit if I can find the spot. We lost Crash. We lost him. There he is. Nope, there he is. Okay. Or we lost Scum, I'm sorry. There will be a couple pats that walk through this gate, like through it, like horizontally. Just clear those. It's usually a Dread Fang, a Druid of the Fang, and then a clone. So make sure you guys are looking for those before you just pull Scum. And if you got, you know, a massive dinosaur in your face, you might not see some of the pats coming through. There is a couple pats that come through there. The rest of these, the Lasher's Cleave, I mean, they have like no health. Again, another room in here where there's a pat. There's going to be a green Poison Spitter. I don't remember the exact name of these guys, Venom Spitter or something like that. He's going to pad in through here as well. So be careful because some people like to charge in here and then that Venom Spit comes here. And then guess what? It's social aggroing those other 3 mobs. And all of a sudden you got 6 mobs on you. Okay. So usually for these ones, I pull them back. This is a perfect LOS spot right here in the corner. Easy. And then you'll see the pack coming in a little bit later. We got lucky. So they're LOS, so we don't have to worry about a chain pull anymore. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Now, these are all little LOS spots. They work as well. There's a couple pats in this room as you keep going. Okay, Serpentis, nothing crazy. Same as all the other ones. Heal, sleep, chain lightning. Now, there will be a cloned ectoplasm that will run or pat around Verdan. Always use that for rage. Always have rage for Verdan. If you walk in with no rage on Verdan, you can't get Sunders up immediately. You can't get a demo shot up immediately. Your DPS can't DPS right away. And if the DPS pulls threat on Verdan, they're dying. So we'll talk about Verdan in a second. We're going to clear these out, kill them out. As you can see, I have that ectoplasm marked. That is going to be my rage. And I actually ended up unbooning for this because I am doing this at level 19 with a 2-hand. And let me tell you, this 2-hand is not good. It's like a level 5 gray axe that I have fiery on that I share for my ults. So it's not good. Now going into this, obviously I have Rend and Oni. If you don't have those, you need a shield. You need a shield. You need to be spamming shield block because I might have already passed it. He's hitting me for about 242 a hit. And he critted me one time for 400. So to put that in perspective, if I didn't have Rend, 400 is probably like 75% of my health. I don't have a lot of HP on this tune. I'm level 19. I don't have really good twink gear or BOE gear. I'm just in quest items and a couple pieces that I found. He hit me for 400. That's more than the Rend buff. That's about like right here on my HP, about 75%. You need a shield. You need a shield. The only reason I didn't shield here, world buffs, and I knew my healer. So again, 400. Boom. 400 hit. A lot of HP. You need to be careful with this boss. And especially with our DPS not being good. I don't know what the Warlock was doing. I think he was wanding pretty much the whole dungeon. And we had a mage. But anyways, so that's it. The escort's pretty easy. Just a couple rare, couple spawns that come up. And then you're going to have like 3 or 4 pulls, or 3 or 4 mobs of snakes. And then you're going to have non-elite clones. Pretty easy. So overall, this dungeon is not bad at all. Now, the last Murloc, he will MC somebody, but I believe they've changed it because the MC target used to go attack people, but now it doesn't. It kind of just sits there. So obviously don't kill the person that gets MC'd. He fears somebody, and that's about it. This dungeon is relatively easy. This is a great dungeon to practice range polling, to practice chain polling, to practice line of sight. Yes, this dungeon can be very boring, but this is a great dungeon to practice easy tanking skills that will take you a very long time, or will take you a very long way. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Very quick one. Again, watch out for those guardians. True to the Fang sleeps, LOS pulls, and there's quite a few patrols in there. You guys got this. Next video I think I will do is SFK. So I will see you guys for that video. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you another time.